episode of the Geekwave, we have Carrie Rogers-Whitehead here with us, and we're going to talk to her about coordinating Wizarding Dayz, which we went to, was it last week?
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. Okay. Yeah. So, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into the convention business?
Yeah, so I first have to say I apologize. My partner is sick. She couldn't come in. We've both been in the event world for, over a decade or so. So she's worked with Salt Lake Comic-Con, Steamfest, Gaming Con. I've done an anime convention, ToshoCon, for a few years. I've done Yule Balls. So when we started this, we kind of had an idea of what we wanted and what we didn't want in an event space because we had been around the block a few times.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
So what did you choose that you wanted and didn't want in the convention space?
Yeah, so when I go somewhere, I like to learn. It's the Ravenclaw in me, right? But I like to experience something. I know some people like celebrities, but I like to get educated and come away with something. Experience, not just consume. I want to create, just not consume. So when I've put together events and when Valerie's been involved, we wanted to have that feeling of you're coming into an experience, you're going to make something, you're going to learn something. You're not just going to watch, you're not just going to see the celebrity, you're going to participate in the event. And that was the spirit that we wanted to see in our event.
Cool. So is this the first event that you and Valerie have put on just because you wanted to?
Yes, it's the worst one what we've done together. So she was wrapping up an event and I was wrapping up another job, and we kind of came together and said, hey, and this is us let loose.
So
cool.
Why Wizarding Con specifically?
Yeah, so I've done Yule Balls for 4 years, so I was very aware in the Harry Potter community, and my Valerie was the event director for Fantasy Con, so she loves Lord of the Rings. She's probably more a Lord of the Rings fan. So we had that love of those fandoms, and we wanted to take that love and bring in those community elements, that experience elements into the invention space. We didn't see something that was just kind of that fantasy, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings experience in Utah.
So what are the steps of putting on a convention?
The first thing is you'd make a budget. You make a profit and loss sheet, you make a budget, and you stay with it. I mean, really, there's a lot of love of fandoms, and I love to see it. I love to see the excitement, but there's a lot of nuts and bolts behind it. You have to stay on target, you have to stay in budget, and you have to make sacrifices. So an event, we call it event, but it's in a startup company. We started our own company, and so we run it like a startup company, putting our own investment, our own time for that payoff. So you have to run an event like a company, with accounting, budgets, all those boring stuff, before you can get to the fun stuff.
Makes sense.
So then what is the next step for the fun stuff once you've figured out all the budgeting?
Yeah, so we're real excited about 2018. We're going to keep it on that same weekend, February 23rd and 24th, 2018. Okay. So we are finding a space, we are hiring, we're expanding, and we are wanting to give back even more. So with this last Wizarding Dayz, we had a nonprofit element. We collected over about 3,000 books for charity. We brought in money for charity, and we want to keep that community nonprofit going. So we are planning some quarterly outreach events where we can be out in the community and help people and be people, because I love how fantasy fandoms brings people together and it gets people wanting to give. And so that's one of our goals for 2017 into the next event, is to just give back and be more present in the community.
Okay. So how do you choose people to speak or people to present, or even just vendors for an event like this?
Yeah, that's a really great question. One thing that we wanted to do a little bit different with this convention was be pretty selective with our vendors, and you would have seen it. They stay in the theme.
Yes,
Yeah.
Very much.
That we lost money doing it that way, to be frank, because we turned people away. We gave some free spaces for community partners. We lost money that way, but we felt like it's a better cohesive event. So we had a vendor application, and it had to prove that you were in our 4 areas: fantasy, literacy, STEM, or charity. You had to fit in that area for our vendors. So for presenters, we really we didn't have any celebrities. We wanted to have people that were really knowledgeable about topics. So we had runes, we had charms. I had a soil scientist talking herbology. So like
cool.
the experts and professionals in their field, not the people that maybe you wouldn't think of first, but like you're learning through the fandom.
So what made you want to integrate STEM with the Harry Potter fandom or Wizarding fandom?
Well, I love STEM at a whole bunch. I mean, I teach digital literacy. I have a company. We do digital citizenship work. So I'm in that tech world. And I felt like we don't make STEM fun enough sometimes. You know, and I see that if you use a fandom, you can get people excited about reading. You can get people excited about coding or physics or engineering. So I see STEM as a path to educate and get kids engaged. So for example, we did these infrared wands. So
Those
to
are
teach
so cool.
infrared technology through a wand, because otherwise if you're like, hey class, we're gonna learn about infrared, and you might be like, oh, okay. But if you made a wand, then it's more fun and you learn it by doing. So we incorporated a lot of STEM in that to reach those goals.
So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math, right?
Yeah, I should say STEAM because we had a lot of art.
Science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Yeah. And I love to see how that you can make that excitement there. And we call it the dark arts section because honestly, fantasy is full of STEM.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it breaks the laws of physics, but still, you have to know the laws to break the laws.
Exactly.
As a math teacher major, I actually really appreciated that when I went, just seeing all of the presentations and stuff that were in STEM, because that is something that we really want to get kids interested in and stuff.
You got to think a little bit out of the box by doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, my favorite one was different pH values. So there was a pH paper, and then there was some, there's a Harry Potter logo, and then there were, pictures of the characters, I'm pretty sure. And then you could dip your little wand in a clear liquid and then paint on it, and each clear liquid would create a different color because it was just based on pH. And I thought that was very magical and a very good learning opportunity for kids.
Thank you. I mean, we had a whole potions area, and if you've seen Harry Potter, Snape is a demanding teacher. You need to know how to measure your stuff. And you need to know your chemistry to do potions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my personal favorite was the Shrinky Dinks, but I just love Shrinky Dinks, so.
Yeah, I love them too. They've come back.
They're actually a really good crafting opportunity, so I mean.
There you go.
So back to the nuts and bolts. What challenges did you find for this one?
Yeah, so like any startup company, there are challenges in getting going. So for an event, you have to pay off an event space long before you even start the events. Yeah. So if you're relying on just ticket sales, you're not going to get all those ticket sales until after. So there's an investment in capital. There's an investment in what you need to do before the payoff happens. Like any startup company, you have to take your own money, your own time. Valerie and I were joking the other day that we're paying to volunteer ourselves, but that's how you run a startup, but you look at it long term. So I think a challenge would be is some people just might want to give up. It can be hard sometimes, and you need to just keep your eye on the prize and look at it, all of it long term and holistically, and keep pushing forward.
So what would you change about the process for this upcoming year?
More marketing. We pulled this together. Actually, we had our initial conversation in July. So that's July to February. That's not a lot of time.
That's really short.
So now we'll have more time to market and be out in the community more, to do some of those outreach. But yeah, I would have done more marketing, and it actually went real smooth. It was throwing us off because we're in the event world, and it's like crisis to crisis to crisis when you do events. There's always something that blows up or something, but it was eerily smooth.
Interesting. I feel the need to knock on wood, but it already happened.
I should knock on wood.
Cool. So why do you think conventions are important? Why do you think people love them so much?
I think people want to be transported somewhere else different than reality. That's where I want to make an experience. I like to call this a Wizarding Dayz experience. We don't usually use the word convention because you want to try something, be transported outside and see your characters come to life, which is so exciting. So I brought my son. He's in the room there. He's being great. So he had such a fun time seeing like his favorite characters he sees on TV or books or whatever walking around. That is so exciting. And I think conventions take you outside your normal life. You can see your loves in person, walking around, and that is like a really special thing.
And what about the sense of community that it brings?
Yeah, fandoms, and I love it. I could speak particularly on Harry Potter, but there's some universal things that that you see. Like, so I've worked with refugees for years, and they are from other countries, didn't speak English, but I worked with a group, and they knew who Superman was. Like, they knew the S. They knew it. So I love to see fandoms, Harry Potter, Superman, Lord of the Rings, whatever. They unite. They go kind of across cultural and geographic boundaries because people recognize those symbols, the themes in them, the hero's journey, all the stories are familiar to us. So it's something that can really unite all of us, which I love.
Do you have any more questions?
I'm actually good. I think you covered everything.
Yeah. I guess then my question would be, what house are you?
I'm a Ravenclaw with a bit of Gryffindor in there. Sometimes it depends on the day.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't ask me the American houses. I'm still learning all that.
American houses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ilvermorny.
Oh my gosh, there's
What?
so much more Harry Potter fandom world out there.
Oh my gosh.
You could do a whole episode on this.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Oh yes,
where
I've heard of this.
the American houses because it took place in America. So they introduced the American school and the American houses and all of that stuff.
There's a future episode for you.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
I'm still learning. I'm supposed to be the expert, but I'm not.
We're all always learning. And then, so Harry Potter specifically, I know from me and a lot of my friends, has been super important to us growing up and has shaped who we are as people. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's lovely to find the next generation, and so the first book came out in 1998. So people who have read it, like even when they were young adults, they have kids now, and their kids are reading it. So it kind of goes beyond like that one generation. Not all books do that.
Yeah.
Some just die. We won't see Twilight doing that. But Lord of the Rings did that. Like your C.S. Lewis did that. All of that. And so I think that can be one reason it's lasting. And it's that hero journeys theme. You can identify with the characters. You can get in the world. So on a more serious note, some of my friends, it's been a kind of a rough winter. A lot of changes in the landscape, and they would reread Harry Potter or watch Harry Potter again. It's comforting. It's a very comforting, familiar book, and we all can get behind.
It's like revisiting a friend.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Or like your old house kind of.
And people do reread it because there's such a detailed world that you discover something new every time, and it's familiar and comfortable.
I love that. I guess my only last question would be, what advice would you give someone who's trying to go into the coordinating business or trying to start a con or something like that?
Yeah, so budget first.
Yeah.
Enthusiasm for fandoms or geekdom or whatever is only going to get you so far. You have to be very organized. You have to do a budget. You sometimes have to be mean. Okay. You kind of have to make some hard decisions sometimes. Valor and I wanted to do more but the budget didn't allow. And I think sometimes people are like, they get so excited about their fan, which I am too. But you have to also look at it from a realistic standpoint too, and not get ahead of yourself. And build, and just keep building and look at it long term.
Cool. Sounds good. Anything else?
I think I'm good.
Anything else you wanted to tell us?
Well, thank you very much for having on. I love to see, younger generations and all the people excited, and we are so excited about Wizarding Dayz 2018. We're going to start ticket sales in the summer. Okay. And our vendor registration goes up pretty soon too, about a month or so. And so you can stay on Wizarding Dayz, that's Wizarding Dayz with a Z.com to find all the information, or follow us on Facebook and see all the magical things unfold.
Right. Fantastic. Thank you so much for visiting with us and talking to us.
Oh, thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Geekwave. This is your resident otaku Lee, and if you want to watch more of our videos, just go right over here. Or you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter, possibly also over here. But with that, thanks for listening to the Geekwave, guys. Geek out.